Pydantic AI's capability mechanism lets you extend an agent's behavior by subclassing AbstractCapability and implementing lifecycle hooks. And the code below shows that pattern in action, defining a VerboseLogging capability that wraps both wrap model request and wrap tool execute to print diagnostics around every model call and tool invocation. The agent is instantiated with that capability passed to the capabilities parameter, then runs synchronously with a single prompt to demonstrate the logging output. A data class named VerboseLogging extends AbstractCapability, implementing two async hook methods, one that intercepts the model request, prints the step number and message count, awaits the inner handler, then prints the response part count, and another that logs each tool call's name and arguments before and after execution, before the capability is registered on an agent instantiated with the OpenAI GPT-5. 2. Model and the agent is executed via runsync. From data classes, import data class. From typing, import any. From Pydantic AI, import agent, model request context, run context, tool definition. From Pydantic AI, capabilities import. AbstractCapability. Wrap model request handler. Wrap tool execute handler. From Pydantic AI, messages import model response, tool call part. At data class. Class VerboseLogging AbstractCapability any. Logs model requests and tool executions. Async def wrap model request. Self. CTX, run context any. Request context, model request context. Handler, wrap model request handler. Model response. Print model request step CTX. Run step, len request context, messages. Model request step 1 messages. Response equals await handle request context. Print model response, len response, parts. Model response, 1 parts. Return response. Async def wrap tool execute. Self. CTX, run context any. Call, tool call part. Tool def, tool definition. Args, dict test dr any. Handler, wrap tool execute handler. Any. Print tool call tool name args. Result equals await handle args. Print tool result r. Return result. Agent equals agent OpenAI GPT-5 2. Capabilities equals VerboseLogging. Result equals agent, run allo. Print output, result output. Output, hello, how can I help you today? This is a custom logging capability that hooks into the agent lifecycle via wrap model request and wrap tool execute, intercepting model requests before they're sent and tool executions before they run. The handler pattern is the key mechanism here. Each hook receives a handler callable that actually performs the operation, and the capability surrounds it with print statements showing step number, message count, tool name, and arguments. Using wrap hooks rather than before-after gives full middleware control, which matters when you need to observe both input and output. The capability is passed to agent via the capabilities parameter, which is how Pydantic AI composes extension behavior without threading config through the constructor. This approach trades verbosity for observability. The prints aren't production grade but demonstrate the hook surface, and the same pattern scales to structured logging, metrics, or tracing. Let's break it down line by line. From data classes, import data class. Imports the data class decorator from the standard library for defining data classes. From typing, import any. Imports any from the typing module for generic type annotation support. From Pydantic AI, import agent, model request context, run context, tool definition. Imports agent for agent construction, model request context, and run context for hook context access, and tool definition for tool schema definition.
From Pydantic AI, Capabilities import.
Starts importing from the Pydantic AI Capabilities submodule, opening a multi-line import statement.
AbstractCapability.
Imports AbstractCapability, the base class for custom Pydantic AI capabilities.
Wrap Model Request Handler.
Imports Wrap Model Request Handler, a handler class for wrapping model requests in Pydantic AI.
Wrap Tool Execute Handler.
Imports Wrap Tool Execute Handler, a lifecycle hook that wraps tool execution and receives a handler to call the actual tool.
From Pydantic AI, Messages import model response, tool call part.
Imports model response and tool call part from Pydantic AI. Messages for handling model response data and tool call details.
At data class. Class VerboseLogging AbstractCapability any. Logs model requests and tool executions.
Defines a data class subclassing AbstractCapability that serves as a logging capability, documented as logging model requests and tool executions.
Async def wrap model request.
Defines an async method named wrap model request, likely as a lifecycle hook for wrapping model requests. No body visible yet, just the signature declaration.
Model response.
Return type annotation specifying the function yields a model response.
Print model request step CTX. Run step, len request context, messages.
Prints a debug message showing the current run step and total message count in the request context.
Model request step 1 messages. Response equals await handle request context.
Awaits the handler with request context and stores the returned response.
Print model response, len response, parts.
Prints the count of parts in the response object, prefixed with model response.
Model response, 1 parts. Return response.
Returns the model's response object, which contains 1 part.
Async def wrap tool execute.
Declares an async function named wrap tool execute with no visible parameters or body.
Self.
Trivial syntax, no observable behavior.
Zen.
Trivial syntax, closes a function type annotation with return type any.
Print tool call tool name args.
Prints the tool name and its arguments to stdout, formatted as a debug message showing a tool invocation.
Result equals await handle args.
Calls an async handler with the provided args and stores its return value in result.
Print tool result R.
Prints the tool result to stdout, using repr formatting to show the value's literal representation, prefixed with indentation and tool result.
Return result.
Returns the computed result to the caller.
Agent equals agent opener. GPT-5 2. Capabilities equals VerboseLogging.
Creates an agent instance bound to the OpenAI GPT-5 model, with VerboseLogging enabled as a capability.
Result equals agent, run allo.
Calls the agent synchronous run method with the prompt hello, storing the returned run result in result.
Print output, Result output.
Prints the agent's output value to a stdout, prefixed with output. The whole thing is a middleware pattern, subclass AbstractCapability. Implement wrap model request and wrap tool execute, and let each hook call its handler after printing diagnostics. The handler pattern is what makes it work. You get the callable that does the actual work, you surround it with your logging, you await it, you log the result. VerboseLogging does that for both model calls and tool invocations, pulling step number and message count from run context and tool name from tool call part. You register it via the capabilities parameter on agent rather than threading config through the constructor, which is the composable extension point Pydantic AI gives you. Wrap hooks matter here because they let you see both input and output in one interception rather than splitting it across before and after hooks. The prints are obviously not production logging, but they demonstrate the surface. The same structure scales straight to structured logging, metrics, or tracing without changing how the hooks work.
Every tool call and model request surrenders to the capability that speaks only print.